Good morning, children. So, let's continue with the same lesson, the rat trap. In the last class, we have read that finally the peddler came to the iron master's house. He was persuaded by his daughter, and in the morning, on the day of Christmas Eve, when the iron master came for breakfast, he was feeling satisfied to think about his comrade, that finally he came, he would celebrate Christmas with them. He told his daughter, Edla, that first of all, they would do something so that his comrade would have some flesh on his body, on his cheeks, and after that they would try to give him a good job so that he would leave the trade of selling rat traps. Now let's see. It is queer that things have gone downhill with him as badly as that, said the daughter. Last night I don't think there was anything about him to show that he had once been an educated man. But his daughter had doubt, suspicion. His daughter told that I don't understand that since he resigned his job, within these few years, there came such a change in him that he had to see such bad days. She doesn't understand that how it happened that in a few years he had to see such bad time, such hard time. And she also told that last night when she saw him, she didn't find from any angle that he was looking educated. Means not from any angle she saw that he was looking educated. Means she was expressing her doubt about that peddler. You must have patience, my little girl, said the father. As soon as he gets clean and dusted up, you'll see something different. Last night he was naturally embarrassed. The tramp manners will fall away from him with the tramp clothes. Then the father told her that please be patient, have patience. First, let him be washed, let him be cleaned, let him be properly dressed. When the manner of tramp will go away from him, then you'll find a change in him. So wait, please. Just as he said this, the door opened and the stranger entered. Yes, now he was truly clean and well dressed. The valet had bathed him, cut his hair, and shaved him. Moreover, he was dressed in a good-looking suit of clothes which belonged to the iron master. He wore a white shirt and a starched collar and whole shoes. That very moment, the door opened and the peddler entered. Really, there was a great change in him. He was looking like a gentleman, smart. He was clean-shaved. The servant had given him bath, had cut his hair, had shaved him, and he had put on the suit of iron master. He had put on white shirt with starched collar, a stiff collar, and really he was looking presentable. But although his guest was now so well groomed, the iron master did not seem pleased. He looked at him with puckered brow, and it was easy to understand that when he had seen the strange fellow in the uncertain reflection from the furnace, he might have made a mistake. But that now, when he stood there in broad daylight, it was impossible to mistake him for an old acquaintance. Though his comrade was looking groomed, well dressed, presentable, having pleasant appearance, he should be happy. The iron master should be happy that his comrade was looking good. But no, he was not looking pleased. He was looking at the peddler, at his comrade, with puckered brow, with wrinkled brow, as if he was angry. Why? Because in the evening, due to dim light of furnace, he couldn't identify him. He had mistaken him as his old comrade. But now it was quite clear in broad daylight that he was not his old comrade. So he was angry. What does this mean? He thundered. The stranger made no attempt to dissimulate. He saw at once that the splendor had come to an end. The iron master lost his temper. He shouted. He told. What does it mean? Now, the peddler didn't try to hide his feelings. Dissimulate means to hide feeling. Simulate means to copy, imitate, and dissimulate, hide his feeling. Now the peddler didn't try to hide his feelings. Now he had understood that his splendor had come to an end. Means now his comfortable life had come to an end. The magnificence, the beauty of his life had come to an end. He understood everything. But he didn't try to hide this feeling. It is not my fault, sir, he said. I never pretended to be anything but a poor trader, and I pleaded and begged to be allowed to stay in the force. But no harm has been done. At worst, I can put on my rags again and go away. Then the peddler tried to justify himself. He told that it was not his mistake, it was not his fault, because he had never pretended that he was his comrade. In fact, he wanted to stay in the force, pass his night in the force. He had begged so many times, but he was persuaded to come here. And still, no harm has been done. It's not too late. Only he will have to take off this suit and put on again his rags. Well, said the iron master, hesitating a little. It was not quite honest either. You must admit that. And I should not be surprised if the sheriff would like to have something to say in the matter. But still the iron master was angry. The iron master told in a hesitating way that still your action was not honest. You should admit that you are not my comrade. So now I will have to call sheriff. Now let him decide what happens. Sheriff. Sheriff means a legal officer. The tramp took a step forward and struck the table with his fist. Now I am going to tell you, Mr. Iron Master, how things are, he said. This whole world is nothing but a big rat trap. All the good things that are offered to you are nothing but cheese, rinds, and bits of pork, set out to drag a poor fellow into trouble. And if the sheriff comes now and locks me up for this, then you, Mr. Iron Master, must remember that a day may come when you yourself may want to get a big piece of pork, and then you will get caught in the trap. To hear the name of sheriff, the peddler lost his temper. He became very angry. He came one step forward and hit the table hard with his fist. And he told Mr. Iron Master, actually, the whole world is like a big rat trap. And all the luxurious things and comfortable things in this world, whatever you have, whatever any rich person has, are just like bait. As the piece of cheese, piece of pork is used as a bait to trap the rat, in the same way, you rich persons have these luxurious things only to trap we poor persons. And remember, if the sheriff comes and he arrests me, then don't forget that one day you may be trapped. You will be also tempted to have any big piece of pork, and one day you will be also trapped. The Iron Master began to laugh. That was not so badly said, my good fellow. Perhaps we should let the sheriff alone on Christmas Eve, but now get out of here as fast as you can. Perhaps the Iron Master didn't like his idea, so he laughed and told, okay, well said. Sure, I don't call the sheriff on this eve of Christmas, but you immediately go from here. Leave this place. But just as the man was opening the door, the daughter said, I think he ought to stay with us today. I don't want him to go. And with that she went and closed the door. But as the man was going out, at the same time, Edla came and Edla closed the door. Edla told no. He won't go. He should stay tonight. He should stay today with us. What in the world are you doing? Said the father. Father was angry. Father told, what are you doing? The daughter stood there quite embarrassed and hardly knew what to answer. That morning she had felt so happy when she thought how homelike and Christmassy she was going to make things for the poor hungry wretch. She could not get away from the idea all at once, and that was why she had interceded for the vagabond. Intercede means intervene, intermediate, mediate. Actually, the argument was going on between her father and the peddler. But she came between them. So this is called to intervene. She shouldn't intervene, but she had intervened. So she felt embarrassed. She couldn't understand what to say. Actually, since morning, she was very happy to think that she would do something, she would prepare something so that the peddler, the beggar would have home-like feeling. She wanted to create happy on this occasion of Christmas. She wanted to create a happy feeling in the beggar on the occasion of Christmas. So since morning she was preparing everything to make the beggar happy, to create in him happy feeling on the occasion of Christmas, to give him something home-like feeling. So suddenly she couldn't come out of this idea, and that's why she had to intervene. I'm thinking of this stranger here, said the young girl. He walks and walks the whole year long, and there is probably not a single place in the whole country where he is welcome and can feel at home. Wherever he turns, he is chased away. Always he is afraid of being arrested and cross-examined. I should like to have him enjoy a day of peace with us here, just one in the whole year. Now the girl gave explanation. She told that this poor fellow has walked and walked and walked the whole year. He had never rest, no peace. Wherever he went, he was never welcomed. He was always afraid to be arrested, to be asked different kind of questions. So at least they should give him a day for peace. At least one day in his life, in the whole year, he should live happily. The iron master mumbled something in his beard. He could not bring himself to oppose her. The iron master could not oppose her, but in his low sound, he spoke something. It was all a mistake, of course, he continued. But anyway, I don't think we ought to chase away a human being whom we have asked to come here and to whom we have promised Christmas cheer. The girl continued to say that maybe it was all due to a mistake. But he didn't come here himself. They have invited him to come. They have promised him to celebrate their Christmas with him. So it's not fair that the person whom they have invited to come, they should chase him away. You do preach worse than a parson, said the iron master. I only hope you won't have to regret this. Parson, clergyman, the priest of the church. The clergyman, the priest of the church generally give a sermon, preach. By their preach, they try to convince people that they should do this, they should not do this. So here she has been compared to a parson because she was also delivering sermon. She was also giving a preach to her father. So the father told that like a parson, you are trying to convince me. But you are trying to convince me in better way than a parson does. But at the same time, he also warned her that maybe your this action will create a trouble for us. Maybe you'll have to regret for your this action. The younger took the stranger by the hand and led him up to the table. After that, the younger caught him and brought him to the caught the peddler and brought him to the table and asked him, take your seat and eat food. Now sit down and eat, she said, for she could see that her father had given. Because she saw that her father had given in. Given means yield, submit, surrender. When she saw that her father had surrendered, had yielded himself before her views, then she told the man that take your seat and eat food. That's all. Thanks.